If you want to check out different content from myself, I've just set up a second channel where I'm going to post fitness and things. The link for that will be in the description. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is something that I'm quite excited to do. Hopefully you guys enjoy the trip down memory lane. We have a lot of FIFAs to get through. We have a lot of categories. So what I'm going to do, as you can probably tell by the title, these are my favourite goalkeepers that I can remember at least from FIFA 16. We're going to go back that far. We're going to start things off with the inform Marchetti. I'm not even sure he's still in the game, is he? He might have been retired by now. You'd have thought he would be, 1983. He's quite old. But the reason I want to do this is because playing FIFA 20 right now doesn't seem like an awful lot of point to it because a lot of people have given up. We are in the very final month of the game. So why not look back at some players that I used to use back in the old FIFAs? We have 16, 17, 18, 19 to do. And of course we have all the different positions. So goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, attackers. And I thought, well, we kick things off from the back, move to the front, and we're going to talk about goalkeepers. Now, of course, I've reviewed a lot more goalkeepers in FIFA 16 than this. But these are the ones that I actually, for some reason, remember using. Marchetti has always been one of those players that I used to use in every FIFA. I can't remember whether he was like fantastic or whether he was not that great in places, but I remember enjoying him. Hero, Kasper Schmeichel. I think this was from Leicester winning the league, correct me if I'm wrong, and I picked up more or less the entire Leicester squad. There were one or two players that were actually really expensive, but I picked up the majority of them, and I remember him being very, very good. I don't know why, looking back at this FIFA, it actually looks like a little bit more fun. I used to like these sort of, was it FIFA 15, FIFA 16, maybe FIFA 17, had a little bit more of an arcadey feel to it. And I just remember them being a little bit more enjoyable. You know, skills were easier to pop out and players felt fast. And, you know, back in the day, it was probably the worst FIFA that ever was released, right? And that's just always the way that it goes. Schmeichel was a really good goalkeeper, though. Shout out to a player that I didn't review for obvious reasons. Abbiati, no longer in the game, of course, because I think he's 58 now. That is an exaggeration. He's probably not quite that old, but still. I remember using him at the very beginning of the game in FIFA 16. He might have even been part of the Road to Glory that I had going on at the time. Either way, helped me through the early stages. No footage of him, unfortunately. There are a couple of other players like this, but for the most part, we do have footage. The team of the season, Sillerson, was one of those that wasn't particularly easy to link, but back in FIFA 16, it was a lot more viable to go and use silver cards and to use sort of lower rated cards toward the end of the game because the team of the season cards weren't actually that great. So you've got your 88 rated Sillerson here, but there are a lot of other players that are sort of 85, 86 rated team of the seasons, and you could still get away with using like 77 rated cards and stuff. Sillerson wasn't particularly a great goalkeeper for me, but I do remember using him. Favorite card, maybe a stretch, but when we're going back this far, you have to kind of stretch the rules a little bit. Butland, a card that we all knew and loved back in the day. I'm not sure whether it was FIFA 18 that he had like the best card. It might have been 17 or 18. We'll get there when we get there. But I do remember this Butland being particularly good. The camera angles through this FIFA changed a lot, by the way. I'm not sure why. I can't remember why, but I think I would find it very difficult to play at this camera angle right now. What a save that was, by the way. That was an insane save. He was really, really good. I remember him being, and he always has been, one of those goalkeepers that seems to save things that he really shouldn't be saving. Here comes a penalty, and straight at him, to be fair. And I think we were winning that game 5-0. But yeah, look at the state of some of these saves that he makes. Really, really good. You can't rely on goalkeepers in sort of newer FIFAs like you can, or like you could in the old FIFAs like this. I mean, Jack Butland was just one of those amazing goalkeepers, as was Rene Adler. Is his name Rene Adler? Did I just make that up? I'm pretty sure it's Rene Adler. This guy was really good. He had, I think, 2 informs that year, 81, 82, because EA's inform system was not very good. I think he had a January upgrade, actually. That might have been one of the reasons why he was 81, 82. I think he had I think he did have a January upgrade. Either way, I do remember using him a lot, and he was a particularly good goalkeeper, but I didn't review him for some reason. Gomez is... Gomez, I remember this guy like I reviewed him yesterday. This was one of those goalkeepers who didn't have hands but knew how to use his feet. And for whatever reason, he doesn't have like 5-star skills or anything like that, but for whatever reason, I used to love passing it back to him, or when the ball fell to him, he could bring it out from the back and get us going. But when it came to making a save, absolutely no chance. He did not have hands. So he comes all the way out here, dinks it over the top of the sliding defender, and away we go. Brilliant football again to keep the ball. Cross comes in for the corner, and it falls down to Nainggolan on the edge of the area. You're not saving that anyway, but he just doesn't have hands. He cannot save things. But give him the ball. Look at this. Rushes out, ball at his feet, and he's magnificent. I don't know why. I remember that particularly well. Hey, he made a save. Diego Alves, who remembers this guy? Really expensive card back in the day because of the links that he used to be able to get from the back, but also because he was a particularly good goalkeeper. I don't know what happened to him. I'm guessing he retired. But yeah, he was a particularly good goalkeeper. Even his base card was used a lot. And I remember using his inform a fair bit as well. It's not actually not that expensive now if you go back to FIFA 16. We're going to finish things off with what I believe was my first ever review on FIFA 16. I don't know why. This card came out. It was a record breaker for whatever the record was, and I decided I didn't have a video idea for the day, so I thought I would dabble in a player review. It's not my first ever player review, but it was my first player review of FIFA 16, and this is what kicked off my player review career, if you will. So I have Gianluigi Buffon to thank for my YouTube career, because without him and without this review, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. Not that I'm in a great position, because we are very much struggling at the moment for views and for money and all the rest of it. But without this review and without Buffon, I would not have made this video. I would not have got into player reviews as heavily as I have done over the years. And I would probably be doing some job that I hate right now instead of doing what I'm doing right now. So I have Buffon to thank for everything in my life, and he was all right. He wasn't a particularly great goalkeeper, but he was okay. He did the job. He was quite expensive actually, but he did all right. That's going to conclude the very first list of our trip back through memory lane, or down memory lane. So if you want to see more of these, so for example, every morning we could release a FIFA 16 defender, FIFA 16 midfielder, and then forwards, like my favourite ones that I can remember. There are a lot in FIFA 16. And then, of course, we could go through 17, 18, and 19. If you want to see them, you want to see more of them, maybe you've got players that you can remember using and that you loved, feel free to leave them in the comments. But, of course, if you do want to see more of these, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.